Let me show you how to do the super stretchy bind off. A great way to cast off any project that needs a little give. This time we're going to focus on the flat version. Hey, it's Denise from LumeHead.com. Let's begin. Once you're done knitting your fabric, take the working yarn across your pegs 2 times. With your scissors, cut the working yarn and then place it under the existing loop on the last peg, and with your hook from the top you're going to scoop the working yarn up and feed it through the loop. So keep in mind that this technique is worked over 3 pegs and it's going to look something like this. Alright, let's do it. Take the working yarn and you're going to place it loosely over the next 2 pegs. And remember that you're going to skip this middle peg right here. So it's going to be on top of the existing loop. With your hook from the bottom, you're going to scoop the working yarn down and you're going to feed it through that loop. Tighten your working yarn and you're going to go back to the peg that you skipped, which was here in the middle, and you're going to put your hook from the top. Put the working yarn under the existing loop, scoop it up with your hook and feed it through that loop. Then tighten your stitches, tighten that working yarn, and now your new target is this peg, which is over here. But before you do that, you're going to go back to that first peg and you're going to remove the loop from that peg. So with the hook, just scoop it over and off the peg and tighten your working yarn. You're going to always tighten the working yarn before you start the next step. So again, now we have 3 new pegs, and like before, we're going to skip that middle peg right there and go to the 3rd one. Place the working yarn above the existing loops with your hook. After skipping that one, you're going to go to this one and you're going to take the hook from the bottom and scoop down the yarn and feed it through that loop. Keep the yarn tight and you're going to come back to the peg that you skipped, place the yarn under the existing loop, and from the top you're going to scoop the yarn up and feed it through the loop. Tighten your yarn, grab it, and then you're going to remove the loop off the last peg. Now that's a hack and it's not normal to this technique, but I found that it gives a much nicer, cleaner finish. So removing that loop is really important. Now we're going to repeat the process again. You're skipping that middle one, going to the next peg and place the yarn over the existing loop. From the bottom, scoop the yarn down and feed the working yarn through that loop. Then you're going to go back to the middle peg that you skipped, but first place the yarn under the existing loop, and from the top you're going to scoop that yarn up and through that loop. Tighten your work, remove that loop off the last peg and over, and you're going to start the process again because now you have 3 new pegs that you're working with. So let's do that again. We skip the middle one like always, go to the 3rd peg, and from the bottom we're going to scoop that yarn down and through the loop. Go back to the peg that we skipped after we tighten the yarn. Put the working yarn under the existing loop. From the top, scoop it up and feed it through the loop and tighten. Now I'm using a hook. You can use a needle for this, which is what I normally do. And then take the loop off that peg and start the process again. Now you're on your last 3 pegs, and this might be a little different, but it starts the same. Starts off the same way. So you're going to go to that 3rd one, scoop the yarn down, go back to the middle peg that you skipped, and you're going to take your hook from the top, scoop up the yarn, feed it through that loop, and of course you're going to remove the loop from that third peg just like you did before, but here we're at the end, and so you're left with only 2 pegs, not 3. So you're going to take that loop from the first scoop down, and now you're going to take that working yarn, go to the second one that you skipped, and you're going to scoop from the top upward, feed the working yarn through the loop, and now take those last 2 loops off the pegs, get the working yarn and pull on it, and you are done.